All right, the info back in the building. So the more I look into XXXTentacion's career, right, after the fact, I'm starting to notice a lot of dark patterns that was happening in his career as he was blowing up. Plus, a lot of the things that he was saying, he was almost warning people.
What can we expect from you, bro?
Hell.
Of not his intentions, but I felt like he was trying to say certain things was his destiny, right? And when I think about the song Sad, when he walked up to the casket in the church and looked at himself in the grave, the duality situation, good versus evil, right? That's already showing that this is not just a kid that don't know what he's portraying. He know what's going on. He's very privy to certain situations, right? And I always felt like he was being pushed by bigger powers than what they were saying. And come to find out, mind you, let's tap into the fact that the song Sad came out in March of 2018 of him in a casket. June of 2018, he ends up passing away. I don't know. That's just a couple months apart from depicting. So that's the power of the tongue, for one, right? Then he had a song called I Met the Devil in Miami. And he was talking about how the devil could give him certain things that he wants, but the devil is going to want something in return. And we hear these conversations all the time. This is not just XXX, but you could see the pattern within the industry where these conversations are being had. But the thing about X, I feel like X started to say too much during these interviews. He was tapping into the pyramid symbol and all that stuff. He said he didn't want to divulge too much in it.
Eye on the top of the on the top of the pyramid, right, is what they call ideally the third eye. I don't want to dwell into that too much, but
once you start talking and saying certain things, you become a threat to whatever organization that granted you the access to the industry, right? And it's just weird that all these people gravitated to him so much. So he has diehard fans. He's almost like a Michael Jackson to the other generation that's like, what, probably like 20, 25, right? But something peculiar that I noticed. There's a guy called John Todd, and he was talking about how these songs, when they're being mastered, there are certain frequencies, just like X was talking about certain frequencies.
music is frequency programming. What frequency are you being fed? If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind. What's the point of music? Niggas don't know.
Megahertz and all these things, 440 hertz and all that. John Todd was saying when they go into the mastering room or record room or whatever, there's spells being put on these records.
When I heard John Todd's testimony on, the 70s, that guy that worked for Capitol Records, and he was specifically going up into the top realm of the Capitol building, and they would pray over every single album, attaching spirits to go with those albums.
It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out. You did that.
Yeah, it's hypnosis.
Right? And I'm not saying this is exactly what's going on with X, but it sounds very familiar with his situation. Because for him to perpetuate imagery of him in a casket and then passing away months later, then he had a song called, I believe, Chapter 1 or something like that, where he had the horns in the back of his head going up. We know what the horns come from, and there's a a side by side photo of him looking exactly like whatever he's trying to look like, right? Because none of this stuff happens by accident. It's done deliberately. It's done deliberately all the time. And for him to meet his demise the way he did, it's almost like, I don't know if he had like life insurance and he just wanted to make sure his family was good, because X was always talking about he wasn't happy. And he's not the only artist, like Lil Papa that just passed away not too long ago. I don't know if it's a year yet or a year, but that was tied to Yo Gotti. He was also talking about him not being happy, and he gave like a posthumous interview before he actually passed away. Not an interview, but an Instagram live, saying after this it's done. And I don't know what these people are going through. And X said his mother wasn't there in the beginning like that. His pops was not there and all that stuff. And that's totally understandable. But to be making songs, like one of his biggest songs with the question mark, it's weird. That song like that is super popular amongst these young generations of kids, because I don't think that's a message that's supposed to be pushed like that. And when I read the comments, I even read comments underneath certain posts, and it's saying, yo, I need to hear this because I feel a certain type of way. And you're basically giving me the instructions of what to do, because it's a lot of the younger generation that's not emotionally intact. And not all of us, none of us is really super emotionally intact 100%. We may feel that way, but that was just a dangerous message. But it's such a big song. I would only imagine how many situations tragically happened from that song inspiring your followers to do such thing, right? And I'm gonna put it up there so you can see it. The song that I'm talking about, because I can't say it. He didn't know how to deal with the pain that he had going on inside, and God knows like what he actually went through that he had to deal with by himself, and he probably don't need to. He probably don't feel the need to share that information with people. Just trying to be protective of himself, because people. You tell people certain things that's precious to you, and the minute y'all start beefing, that's now public.